Creative Learning Tutoring Company currently has 16 Spanish tutors for its 3 locations. The tutors are allocated using Hamilton's method, according to the student enrollment, as recorded in this location table. The company is going to open a new location. Because of this, more Spanish tutors will need to be hired. The manager wants to make sure that the reallocation does not affect the number of tutors currently allocated to the other locations. In other words, she wants to make sure that the reallocation will not produce a paradoxical behavior known as the new states paradox. The addition of a new group within a corresponding increase in number of objects changes the allocation of objects. We want to make sure that does not happen. So let's now take a look at what happened when they added their new location. Because right now, Lake Avenue had 5, Cedar Road had 5, and Park Lane had 6. So 5, 5, 6. Now they're adding Liberty Boulevard. Let's see what that does. Okie dokie. Now, giving you a little background about the New States Paradox, how did this happen? It was discovered in 1907 when Oklahoma joined the Union. At that time, there were 386 seats in the House of Representatives, and it was clear that with Oklahoma's population that it was going to need at least 5 seats. So they increased the number of seats to 391. Now, you would think that just increasing the seats to 5 would only give Oklahoma 5 seats, and everybody else would keep their own. However, when the 391 seats were actually reapportioned, Maine gained a seat and New York lost one. And it became known as the New States Paradox. So, Hamilton's method says this. We're going to calculate the standard divisor, calculate the standard quota for each one of these districts, calculate the lower quota for each one of these different locations, assign each location seats according to its quota, the lower quota, and then, if it does not add up to what we need, we look at the decimal parts and assign whatever number of seats we need to in descending order based on the size of those decimals. All right, so here we go. We've got Lake Avenue, and how many tutors do we have? We've got 25 because we had 16, and now they've got 25. They hired 9 more tutors. So we're going to take our calculator and we're going to get our standard divisor. 320 divided by 25. So our standard divisor is 12.8. So we're going to divide by 12.8. You will put 12.8 into the apportionment tool, click it on, and all of the table values will be filled for you in a matter of seconds. This is what I do old school. 70 divided by 12.8. That's going to give me 5.469. So I'll put that here, 5.469. Maybe I'll type it. My handwriting's terrible. When I divide 57, I get 4.458. When I divide 83, I get 6.484. When I divide 110, I get 8.594. Check me out and see if you got something different. I hope that you did not. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger so you can kind of see them, the way my handwriting would look. And of course, now we round to our lower quota, which is basically the number in front of the decimal. So our lower quota would be 5, 4, 6, and 8. Now, what is this decimal number called here? This is called our standard quota. And this is called our lower quota, in case you were wondering. All right, so 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 8 is, you guessed it, 23. So now we start looking at the decimal parts. Which one has the largest decimal? It's not about which number is the biggest. We're looking at the largest decimal piece. So the largest decimal piece is right here. So that means we're going to add 1 to Liberty Boulevard. So that means they get 9. So now we got 24, so we still have one more. 469 is bigger than 458, but 484 is bigger than both of them. So we're going to add 1 to Park Lane. Now, in adding 1 to Park Lane, that means Park Lane now has 7, Cedar Road 4, and Lake Avenue 5. Now, I want to bring your attention back to the very beginning. In the very beginning, Lake Avenue had 5, Cedar Road had 5, and Park Lane had 6, for a total of 16. So the question is, did the new states paradox occur? Did the inclusion of a new location change the allocation? It did. Cedar Road lost 1. It had 5, but now it's got 4. So yes, it occurred, because one of the areas lost 1. Had it kept the 5, it would have been fine, but it lost 1. On to number 3. The price of an item dropped to $153. It was $180. What is the percent of decrease? So the first thing we need to find is the amount of decrease. And we find that by subtracting. So just subtract the 180 and the 153. So 180 minus 153 equals 27. So this object dropped $27. Now you take that amount of decrease and you divide it by, well, what was the original price? $180. It's always the first price, the original price. It was 180, it went down to 152, so it's not the first one you see in the problem. So you don't divide by 153. You divide by the original price of the item. It was 180 and now it's 153. And then you multiply your answer times 100. When you do this, you end up with 15%. If you don't believe me, let me show you quickly in the calculator. Again, 180 minus 153, first step. Second step, divide that number by 180. Now at this point you have the percent written as a decimal, which you could just easily move the decimal 2 places to the right, or you could do the final step, which is to multiply by 100 because it's per 100. 15%. And that's it.